Again, this evening we will get to discover how LinkedIn, specifically personal branding, will work for you. And yep, leading this talk, our sharer. So let's give a warm good evening and welcome to Shweta. Hi, Shweta.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. The way conventional question these is, can you hear me and can you see me?
Clear, clear, loud
Super
and clear.
glad, super glad to be here. So I was sharing in one of the physical meetups I went earlier this morning. I said, it's been quite a journey. Me attending a LinkedIn local, then hosting a LinkedIn local, then mentoring a LinkedIn local, and now as a speaker. So I'm pretty thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. For those who are not aware, this is also like everyone else watching us right now. This is my first time to meet Shweta. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, I would also and I like to understand how do you pronounce your name?
Joe Mark. Simply Joe
Joe
Mark.
Mark. Joe Mark. Yeah, great.
Okay. And yes, guys, Shweta is in
In
India,
Mumbai. Yeah,
Mumbai.
right. Yeah, in India, Mumbai.
Yep.
So,
So yeah,
so how many of you viewing today are from India originally? If there are some in the group, you can like, "Yay, I'm from India!" Like the typical Indian shout out. I'm not able to see any comments, so Jamak, you'll have to help me with. Okay, I'm able to see. Yes, yes. There are some messages that I'm able to see. Yeah. So,
yep.
guys, super
I'm
fun.
currently seeing your page right now, and I'm seeing both of our faces in your page. So definitely, there are.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, let's warm things up. I guess by asking a few questions, maybe you would like to ask me as well. But I guess it's the LinkedIn local community. So I guess how did you discovered LinkedIn local?
I discovered through LinkedIn only. So, the Pune host, Priya Dhawan, actually, I was following her on LinkedIn and I came to know about LinkedIn local events. And I happened to attend one in Pune. And I was quite excited with the idea because I've been, when I attended that LinkedIn local, I was in the business development role. So I ended up attending a lot of networking meets. And when I attended this one, I found it to be, uh, really unique because I found it to be a playground for all. It was not very community centric. Okay, the bankers, it was not. It was for all. People from different domains, people from different industry backgrounds, people from different work profiles can actually come together. And what I found interesting was that it was not about lead generation and sharing the business cards. It was more about connecting, genuinely building relationships. And I figured that when people networking meets are happening in silos in here in Mumbai, specifically in the suburb Thane that I am in, I wanted to bring this kind of aura here, so that people can communities can intermingle. So that was my idea of starting LinkedIn local. I started in 2018,
Mm.
just 24th of November. Yeah, 24th of November 2018.
So how
And
was it
I'm
so far during the pandemic? Do you also do this sort of online events, online meetups?
so what I did was when so actually 14th of March 2020 I had slated, the event was to happen in 13th March evening, when you have everything just ready. I had to call it off because of the guidelines, government guidelines, etc. Post that, what I did was I understood that now, people will jump into the requirement of upskilling themselves. Specifically in my community, most of them were small business owners, and definitely they were pretty much off social media when it comes to having their business presence. So I conducted few workshops for my community, right from LinkedIn to Instagram to YouTube to influencer marketing, so on and so forth. So that happened till June 2020. Post that, obviously with the whole fag of webinars happening, etc., it took a back seat. And I also figured that primarily we are an offline model. So what we did was we did collaborate with five of us LinkedIn local hosts from Mumbai. Four of them happened to be my mentee also. So we collaborated and did some mega events online. So a couple of them we did, yes. But yes, when I was doing offline, I was doing consistently every month offline events, which I'm like waiting for it to happen again.
Is this your first time as well to have a Filipino
Yes,
audience? Awesome.
yes. I hope I am able to pronounce and they are able to understand correctly. So if you're okay with my oration, if I may call it, please give me a heads up. I have been interacting with audience outside of India, but Philippine audience is new for me. Yeah.
Yep. For us, we're familiar with our Indian brothers because we have a different community for engineers, and Indians are very good at engineering. So we have another community for that, and they are one of our frequent attendees whenever we do AutoCAD or CAD trainings. So
And in India also, there is a joke, there's a community, Indian community, and there is an Indian engineer community. So we still have that joke around. We kind of define engineers as a separate community, although my elder one is also getting into that community very soon.
yep. Once more, encouraging everyone to ask questions. I think Shweta has a slide to share for it to be visual, but we're encouraging everyone to ask questions. Let's make this a sort of
Interactive.
meaningful, interactive conversation with Shweta just leading the way. So, are you using a laptop, Shweta? So it's simply at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom. There's a share button.
I'll be able to share the screen, I guess.
And I guess how is it in India with regards to LinkedIn? Is it one of the top platforms? Because here in the Philippines, we're trying to convince everyone, hey, you will have a better career opportunity if you go to
So,
LinkedIn.
yes, India also, we are pretty much at the same stage, Mark, because when I started LinkedIn Local, I figured that people were opening up accounts on LinkedIn for the simple reason that are you able to see me?
Not yet.
Okay, now
I think
I'm just
at
figuring out how to share the screen.
at the bottom panel, there's a share button there. So click on share screen.
Okay, and if I have to share a PPT, I click on window, right?
I think there's three options there. One at the top is also slides.
Entire screen.
Yep, entire screen, preferably.
Okay.
So for me right now, I'm currently sharing my entire screen, which shows your profile. So with that, once more, encouraging everyone to please connect and follow Shweta in
Please do
LinkedIn.
that.
I'm also flashing her Instagram account. And once more, we're seeing ourselves in Shweta's Facebook page. I'm
I,
currently using three monitors. That's why I can easily have visibility on everything else.
Am I able to share my screen? Slides. Okay. This is, I'm still learning, guys. Please bear with me when it comes to technology. I am not that pro in technology. I'm able to share the screen. You guys can see the slides, right? How do I?
Oh, we're seeing it now.
Okay, great, great. Good to go. Can I start? All
Yep,
technical
yep.
problems solved. So, guys, everyone in the room, I want to understand from you all, where do you stand in terms of your LinkedIn presence on a scale of 1 to 10? Very quickly, if people can type in, I'll be able to gauge my audience in terms of their literacy when it comes to LinkedIn. So, where we are talking about how to build your personal brand using LinkedIn or leveraging LinkedIn. So this whole discussion will be bifurcated into two parts: personal branding and LinkedIn. So I would step by step take it up, emphasizing more on how you would be using the platform to build a personal brand. Now, before we take the platform into consideration, uh, it is important that we understand what personal brand is, because when I talk about personal brand at different platforms, I understand that people are pretty confused as to what personal brand means. It's just a fad word and everybody is using, so I'm also using, and that's not the case. That's not the case. So to kind of, okay, I have got 0 out of 10. Only one person is responding. How many of viewers are there, Jomak, so that I get a hands on? I want,
We Yep.
yeah.
This is also being shown, I think, to more than 10 universities, but we don't have, it doesn't pop up here. We don't have visibility on.
On of the comments, no problem, no problem. I'm assuming that I am the best orator present today, and you guys are glued onto the screen and listening to me. That gives me a feeling where I can add value today, and I hope that anybody who's viewing now or viewing the replay later finds value and takes the
Definitely.
next step to start using seriously the LinkedIn platform, and more so start building the personal brand. Now, coming to the next point is, as I mentioned earlier in the slide, uh, that first let's understand what do you mean really by building your personal brand. Usually, when either any of the social media that we talk about, whether it is Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or anything, we are treating it as a social media platform. I will come to it as to how you can leverage personal brand on LinkedIn. But before that, I want you guys to understand what personal brand really means.
Yeah.
So, personal branding to me, this is just my definition, is people asking you, who are you? When you have to introduce yourself, when you have to explain who you are, what do you do, how do you help them with, and to the stage where people already know you, your reputation precedes you. And that's where you would have understood that you build some kind of a personal brand for yourself, where in a forum, in any platform that you are present, people already know you. They have been already following you. They have been getting a lot of value from whatever you are doing. So that's pretty much, to me, is building personal brand. The second is, the second fundamental or second disclaimer that I want to put up here is, it is not a sprint. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And the way you prepare for marathon, you have to prepare for building a personal brand. The way you take those baby steps in terms of, from 5 kilometers to 10 kilometers to so on and so forth, you have to be very, very, very patient and very consistent, both patient and consistent in the journey of building your personal brand. This is a non-negotiable thing. Otherwise, even if a viral post or a viral stuff makes you really famous, that doesn't qualify as you having built a personal brand. And to me, the journey of from being invisible as in obviously your close circle, family and friends obviously know you, but what I mean is to the whole world. So from being invisible to being unignorable, you
Yeah.
establish yourself, you establish yourself as a personal brand, so authentic, so credible that people can't really ignore you. They may like you, they may not like you, but they cannot ignore you. That's the stage that you have to aspire to reach if you want to build your personal brand. The second is, when I was talking about the patience piece of it, I see especially millennials, I see that they're really impatient. Things don't happen in first month, things don't happen in second month, and they give up. As I said earlier, it's a marathon. You have to stick around. You have to stick around for the results to show up. Those people whom you think, because they are famous, you think them to be a personal brand, and you try to imitate their journey and want to really have everything in the first month or second month or third month. It is not a sustainable model. It is not a model that is eventually going to bring you profitability. So the stage where definitely to build a personal brand, the first step is you should be visible. People should know you have something to share, and you should be there out to share that for people to actually get to know you. So visibility is definitely the first step, but visibility with consistency and authenticity will bring credibility. And to me, this is the core part of building the personal brand. If you are
Once
not
more,
credible, you
Shweta, it's VCA, visibility,
VCP, visibility, credibility,
consistency,
profitable. Visi-
authenticity.
yeah. So, visibility with consistency and authenticity. I am visible. I am there
VC.
all across. I'm there all across. But like for instance, I'm there on LinkedIn for 2 days and I vanish for 2 months. That is not consistent. Also,
Yeah.
if I'm consistent every day, Joe Mark, if I'm consistent every day, audience also who are listening, but today I'm talking about a recipe that I cooked, and tomorrow I'm talking about a trip that I took. Third day I'm talking about cricket. Fourth day I'm talking about LinkedIn. Then again, even if I'm visible every single day, I'm not consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, understand that if whichever medium that you are choosing, LinkedIn or any other medium, you have to have these fundamentals in place. The first step is visibility, but when you're visible, you have to understand that okay, X is my audience, X is looking up to me, X is someone whom I want to share stuff with, and I would want to add as much value as I can to for them to spare their time and listen to me, or see my content and learn something from me. So visibility with consistency and authenticity. People cannot be fooled, guys. If you think people can be fooled, you are a fool. They cannot be fooled. They cannot really be fooled.
Yeah.
They understand the the gaps are very evident at times. When I've seen people building personal brand, the gaps are really evident from what they preach and what they practice, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Now, once you're visible and once you're credible, I'll share an example. So, if you are really, you have X number of followers in all the social media platforms, and you have really genuine following where people look up to all your content, and really engaging community that you've built, a tribe that you've built for yourself. The moment you launch a product, or the moment you launch a service, don't you think people will buy upfront, left, right, center? It's going to happen because you've built that trust. You've already invested that time to build that personal brand, build that trust. And definitely, the moment you launch something, people are going to like it's going to sell like hotcakes. There comes the profitability. So, my urge to you is, don't think about monetizing your personal brand the moment you think, okay, I've gone from X follower to now I should earn money. Be patient. Be patient. I'm doing this lecture free of cost, by the way, just so you know, because that's where we try try to go with the intent to add value. If you
Yeah.
have a clear intent to add value, it is definitely going to be a sustainable model for building your personal brand. So I would rather urge you to be in the game for a long haul, rather than you know just be there for a while and vanish, and whatever that money is that you've earned or monetizing it, it's like not sustainable. You will have to reinvent the whole wheel if you want to build a personal brand. Why waste time energy doing that, right? Now, in with respect to what we are going to talk today, it is not going to be a tutorial. I'm not going to show you today in terms of, go here, click that, do that, place this, that. There are hell lot of YouTube videos available, and I also take master classes which are pretty much tutorials. So I am going to focus more on the fundamentals today, because once they are sorted, and once really you feel that urge of committing yourself to build your personal brand, of committing yourself to be very consistent with LinkedIn, that's where the whole tutorial is going to actually help. I teaching you now is not going to do any good. So this expectation, with this expectation in mind, I would want to go ahead with the presentation. Before that, there is a spoiler. I'm sorry, I'm this old school. So whatever, whether it is personal branding using LinkedIn or any other platform, or using different touch points with your audience through social media platforms, again and again, it's not going to be fast. I have mentioned earlier also, it's not going to be passive, that okay, you are not engaging, you've outsourced it to someone else, etc., and it's happening. No, it's not going to happen. Your involvement, because it's the word personal, right? Do you understand that you have to? Even Richard Branson is involved in his personal brand building right now, and it's definitely not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. If it's happening overnight, something is not right. And
Agree.
and it requires you to show up and do the actual work. And I would add here that please do the actual work with the proper strategies in mind. Ad hoc work will lead you from A to B, but it will definitely not lead you from A to Z. Okay, so I would urge that when you decide, think through. The clarity is the first step, and I'm going to talk about it in the further slides. Now, why the slide has come again? There's some error, sorry. Okay, so
Might be.
before I before I talk about, is it okay, guys? I need some interaction from you. Is it okay if I take just 30 seconds to talk about who am I and why the hell you should even listen to me? That be okay with you guys? I have the floor open.
Absolutely. You are our guest.
Thank you. And there is a reason why I always put up this slide, and most of you have, like, known, as Jamak introduced, that I'm a LinkedIn host, and obviously I'm a LinkedIn coach and consultant. But not many know, these are the stats that are available. You can check out on my LinkedIn profile also. But what I want to share here is my journey. Guys, I did my banking and business finance way back in 97, 98, and within 6 months I got married. That's the way in India we have marriages happen pretty early, and in my era definitely it was pretty early. So I got married, and circumstances were such that I was not able to pursue any career. And almost 20 plus years I was a homemaker for more than 20 plus years. And since I started, uh, are you guys able to see me? There's some change. So I'm like, Chamak, are you there? Are you able to see me?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
You're able to see me. Okay, I lost you, so I was like, okay.
No, no, no. I was focusing for everyone to see the why me
Okay,
slide.
I get it, I get it. So, so what happened was that an opportunity fell in my lap, because I did an Everest base camp trekking, and we were a closed group, and we were together for 19 plus days, and one of my trekking mates, we got to know each other very closely, and post that expedition, around 6 months after that, I got a call from him saying that, okay, we have an HR consulting firm, and we want to hire someone for business development, and we think you're the right fit, and would you be interested? And we see a lot of potential in you. And I was like shocked, because I was not even contemplating on getting into a career. I was like, okay, now that option is out of the window. I will never be able to be a career woman. And when someone reached out to me saying that I see a lot of potential in you, that hit me hard. And I saw that, okay, if someone is seeing potential in me, someone wants to invest in me, it's high time that I should give myself a chance. Definitely it was too scary, because I was not qualified in HR, I was not qualified in sales, and I was asked to sell HR services, and I was like freaking. My first email, corporate email that I drafted, I know how, because in India, I come from the northern part of India, we always think in Hindi, talk in Hindi, and kind of translating it into English, and trying to be very good at the articulation. Everything was like completely new territory, new terrain for me. And 2016, when I created my LinkedIn account, I was so intimidated by the profiles. My God, I mean, like when I was creating my profile, I didn't know what to write except the education part, because I had no experience. And there were profiles which were so illustrious, which were like, really, really amazing. And I was like shrieking when it comes to sending connection requests. Either nobody will accept, why the what value my profile is going to add to them. And from 2016 to 2018, I did everything wrong that I preach now that people should not do. So whatever I
Mm.
talk about comes from a learning. And 2018, when I started LinkedIn Local, I realized that it's high time that people should know me, because that's where, if they connect with me, my vision, then they will connect with my community. And
Yeah.
that's where I started digging deeper in terms of how I can leverage the platform, what the do's and don'ts. I upskilled myself. 2020 was, I was a student back again, doing internships and doing everything under the sun, all the leadership courses, and I did all of it. uh, and 2020, I launched myself as a LinkedIn coach. So practically from 2018 to 21 is my journey, that you see in terms of growth and presence on LinkedIn. And I'm sure most of you will say, she doesn't have, those 80,000 plus followers and 1 lakh plus followers, what the hell, she has only this many. But I'm okay with it, because I'm getting at least 3 to 4 qualified leads every week, and I'm not doing any outbound leads as of now. I'm not doing any sales pitches as of now. And if that is the power of personal brand, I'm perfectly happy with it. Definitely I would like to grow to a lakh followers, but yes, it takes pains. People who have gathered that genuinely, it has taken years. Now my humble reason for sharing the story is, guys, if I can do it, you can do it too. And people who are viewing me from the universities, the earlier you start, the faster you grow, the better you go, because all the
Yeah.
mistakes, all the learning will happen till the time you actually become a full-fledged professional. So by the time you reach that zone where you are able to share from your learning, etc., and people are looking up to you, you've already learned the game, you've already built your personal brand. So my reason of sharing, and thanks everyone who's listening and who have heard my story, if that has inspired you just 1% to get on the journey of building personal brand, get on LinkedIn and be serious about it, my purpose is solved. My purpose
Shweta.
today is solved.
Yep. Actually, I am seeing here we both became connected just recently, July this
Yes.
year. And from what I can recall, I think you're just around somewhere around 10,000 during that time. But yeah, I'm seeing your posts. I'm seeing you consistently, and yeah, your followers really are growing astronomically.
I hope so. So, I just want to know that my followers grow, and whosoever my followers are my target audience, and are people who find value in whatever I'm sharing. There's no point having X number of followers who are just followers for the heck of it, and you don't have any engagement from them. They're not adding any value to you, or neither you are adding any value to them. Now, the this slide, actually, I've consciously put a 2020 stat for you to understand that in 2020, in Corona times, how much exponentially these stats would have grown, how much it would have grown. Do you understand the importance now? Now,
Wow.
if these are last year stats, okay, now 2021, I'm requesting you guys to look up to 21 stats, because it will astonish you in terms of how much exponentially LinkedIn presence has grown. People have understood the fact that they need to be present on LinkedIn, and they
Mm.
that's where you also should start focusing on. One important fundamental thing that I want to bring to everyone's notice, please, 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 I urge you, this is my opinion. Don't treat LinkedIn as any other social media platform. The moment you do that, there are a lot of mistakes that will come in with it. Treat LinkedIn as a global professional networking platform. The moment you have that fundamental in place, you will start treating the platform differently. If you treat it as just any other social media platform, it's definitely not going to yield the results that you want, because somewhere or the other you would just be projecting yourself without getting into the efforts of building meaningful relationships, or without getting into the efforts of engaging or building your tribe or building your community. So fundamentally, treat LinkedIn as the professional networking platform. So if whatever you're doing, whether you're building a profile, or whether you're writing a post, or whether you're commenting, or whether you're DMing, or whatever activity that you're doing on LinkedIn, treat it as if you would have done it physically in a networking event. How would you have done it? How important would it be for you to reach out to someone and talk about what you do, how you do, and how would you actually invest in building that relationship? So treat LinkedIn as the professional networking platform, not just as any other social media platform. uh, I would just put this slide to just reinstate the fact that why you should be on LinkedIn. Now, in one of the Insta lives, I remember yesterday or maybe day before, I mentioned that whether your target audience lies on Instagram, or whether your target audience lies on Facebook, or whether it's on
Mm.
YouTube, that's the place where you actually get the monies from. Even if that is the case, LinkedIn presence is important for you to build a professional reputation for yourselves. A place where you will find associates, a place where you will find talent, a place where you will find collaborators. So even if you present on all other social media platforms, and you think that LinkedIn is something which is not, you will not be able to monetize on LinkedIn, and that's not the place where your end audience is, please be mindful of the fact that at the end of the day, you're a professional, and your professional reputation on LinkedIn is as important as your presence on other social media platforms to drive traffic.
I agree on
So
that.
yeah, so it is whether you are you are a YouTuber. I've seen YouTubers with 6 million and 10 million, and they don't have an account, or they have an account which is pretty much dormant on LinkedIn. And it's not something that is going to add, it's not something that you should do, to my mind. Again, when person branding is all about being visible, being credible, This LinkedIn is the place where you can emerge as a thought leader. A LinkedIn is a place where you can establish yourself as a subject matter expert. And when that happens, but even if you're an employee in a certain company, you would think that why this whole activity I need. I would just come and be present on LinkedIn when I need another job. Now, the moment you are being consistent on LinkedIn and building your personal brand, you are coming in the first, say maybe the 2% of the LinkedIn users. There are only 2% of LinkedIn users who are creating content and are consistent. So you're beating the competition right away. The moment you decide to build your personal brand, invest on being present on LinkedIn and engaging on LinkedIn every single day, you are beating the competition and coming right in the 2%. Isn't that great? Even if you are an employee, and definitely it the engagement on LinkedIn is going to add so much value. What I have learned as a person building my personal brand is, when you build your personal brand, you kind of feel the responsibility of people looking up to you, people seeking information from you and implementing and benefiting from you. And that responsibility changes you as a person a lot. This is something that you will not realize happening right away, but yes, I see that happening because I chose to do this. In all other parts of my life, I understand that how different I am as a person now. So even if you're an employee, even if you have a secure job, you're not looking out for jobs, still I would urge that a personal brand building is very essential. It's like a fitness for establishing your professional reputation. You cannot just choose to be in the gym some days and just not choose to be. I'm sorry, I'm emphasizing a lot on consistency here, but that's the key. That's the key, guys. Now, today we're going to discuss very quickly three pillars of LinkedIn growth: the quickest way to build an audience, the easiest way to generate leads, and how you should be positioning yourself with authority. In the end, I'm going to share a couple of facts. I'm sure that it comes as a surprise to most of you that, okay, this existed, I never knew. So even if 10% of the audience thinks that, okay, I didn't knew about this, I will be yay. Okay, guys, move ahead with the section 3 pillars of LinkedIn growth: clarity, content, and consistency. Now, in that order, I would want, in that order, because if you are not clear, you are not going to benefit from whatever hard work that you're putting in to build your personal brand. So, clarity in terms of who you are, clarity in terms of what you do, clarity in terms of who do you help, clarity in terms of how do you help them,
Mm.
clarity with what do you help them with. I will repeat these questions. So, guys, if you're having a pen and paper, noting it down, please get answers for these fundamental questions first to gain clarity of starting your personal brand journey. Who you are, who do you help, how do you help them, what do you help them with? Who you are, who do
Who
you
you are?
help,
Who do you help?
how do you help them, and
How do you
what do
help
you
them?
help them with?
What do you help them with?
Yeah. So the moment you have this clarity in mind, you would, and definitely when you are answering these answers in a very concise and best articulated manner, will not come in the first go. There will always be version 1 from version 2, version 3. So be okay with that. Be okay with that. But still, I would request you to just take that 10 minutes and sit down and at least make the version 1. Now, all these answers put together will become your elevator pitch. Isn't that powerful? So, the moment you have an elevator pitch, you can use it at different places, at physical networking meetups. When you are actually reiterating that pitch in your head again and again and again and again, it sinks in your DNA. That's the way you start thinking, that's the way you start projecting yourself. So personal brand building with steps stems from the fact that how others perceive you, and how others perceive you is a function of a, how do you perceive yourself, and how do you want others to perceive you as. So with that in place, then only you will be able to project yourself correctly the way you want others to perceive you as. So for that, clarity is very important. Now when you have the clarity with the answers that I have asked you to write, you will get who my audience is, right? Who do you help, who my audience is. Now who your audience is something people at times come to me that I don't have a clarity as of now who my audience is. Then I tell that what do you like to do. That can be especially for students. What do you like to do, what are the subjects that you can talk about endlessly or research about endlessly. Start with that, and with the response that you get from the content that you're sharing, you will figure out that who are the people who are getting attracted to you, who are the people who are getting benefited from you. That's where you would understand, okay, this is where my audience lies. At times you have clarity, okay, this is the audience that I want to reach to. And you will have clarity in terms of, okay, now if this is the audience that I want to reach you, what are their burning points, how perhaps I can address to some of them, and how I can communicate that I can do it the best. That's the clarity that we need in terms of starting our personal brand journey, because this will formulate the components like headline, this will formulate the components like about section, this will formulate how we are projecting the best in the experiences that you've gained, so that people are able to connect the dots and understand, okay, this is where he's coming from or she's coming from, and this is my go-to person. So clarity is the first step. Now with clarity in place, what do you do with clarity? If you sit around it and not put content out there now, but with content also, please be mindful. This is my opinion. With content, it is not only about the posts that you're sharing, it's
Okay.
everything. It's
Mm.
everything. What you write in your profile, what posts and content that you're sharing on a daily basis, and what is it that you're doing in terms of commenting on other people's posts, DMing. So is the language, is the proficiency, is the message, is the communication in sync? This is very important. So I have posted about something, I'm sharing my ideas, my thoughts, my examples, and that is completely not in sync with what my profile says. Or if my profile is saying something, if my posts are saying something, and when somebody reaches out to me on a DM, I'm a completely different person and the whole perception shackles. So the trust goes away. Try to remain consistent in terms of your content. That is what I mean by content. Definitely the posts is the most important part, because that's what will drive traffic to your profile and drive people to connect to you. But be mindful as to what your so with content I also mean communication that you do on LinkedIn. You should treat that as content only, because we think through, when we are writing a post, we edit it 5 times. But do we do that while commenting? Do we do that while messaging? Are we putting that kind of thought around it, that how my projection is seen, how the other person is going to perceive me? The third and most important is consistency. Now, consistency again is not with respect to just posting every day or every people get actually overwhelmed with the fact that, okay, I need to post every day, I don't have the time, I don't
Yeah.
have the idea, I don't have the caliber. It's okay, guys. Don't press yourself that you have to share that every day. No, consistency means uh, uh, whatever you've chosen for yourself, that if thrice a week works for you or twice a week works for you, stay consistent with that. You may increase. So right now you're going to the gym doing 20 reps and that works very well for you, but someday you will realize that 20 reps for me today is bullshit. I can, like, merrily do it. And if I have to evolve, I need to get out of my comfort zone, increase 10 reps, right? Similarly, if writing content, if it's overwhelming for you, you think that comfortably you can manage twice a week, and you can manage to be consistent with twice a week, stick to it. If you're adding value, people will wait for those Saturdays and those Fridays and those Mondays where you're posting content. And you will get, definitely it's going to be a little slow because your consistency is less, but it does not mean that it will not yield you any result. Also, when it comes to being consistent, also I'm emphasizing on being consistent on all other aspects, in terms of connecting with people, in terms of messaging people and reaching out to people on DMs, in terms of engaging on other people's posts. So be consistent with everything. It's not that okay, I am consistently posting every day, so that's my job is done. No, that's not true. So be consistent with the whole engagement package, that you need to take care of when it comes to LinkedIn. So three fundamental pillars, if you are taking care of this in the right manner: clarity, content, and consistency. Clarity, content, and consistency.
Consistency.
Yes. Now let's move ahead. To my mind, how much time, Jamak, do I have? We have some time. Okay.
The time is for you to fully deliver your message.
Okay, great. So I understand we have 1 more hour, is it?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that the
yeah, yeah.
case? Okay, great. I can
But it
get
really
on with my
depends.
work.
I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing interest. So
No, no,
this
I
is an
have a lot
exception.
of. So I take 4 hours master classes. I can go on and on and on. So
Yeah.
I need to be very cognizant of the fact that okay, I have the time. So guys, fundamentally, I think LinkedIn, to like kind of tap LinkedIn and start building your personal brand, start having a solid presence on LinkedIn, start building a professional reputation. There are two strategies that work. One is a
Mhm.
push strategy and one is a pull strategy. Now, by push strategy, I mean strategy where you are knocking doors. You are saying, "Hey, hi, this is Shweta. I'm doing so and so, blah blah blah." This is push strategy where you are knocking doors. Now, those highs happen how? They happen when you are engaging on other people's posts and meaningfully commenting, adding value. When you're meaningfully, no, okay, this was nice, share, all that is fine. All that is vanity. That will not add value. What will add value is if somebody has posted something and you have 2 cents to add, please go ahead and add that. That will make the people who are reacting on that particular post understand that okay, this lady means something, or this gentleman means something, and they would go and check out your profile. They would go and go a step further to know more about you. That is what, you are actually hooking your target audience and saying, "Hey, I am here, go and check out my profile," without actually saying it. Okay, so this is one of the push strategies. The second of the push strategy is definitely sending connection requests. Now, it's like said so many times, but still I receive connection requests without a note. And even if the note is there, it's like, okay, I would like to connect with you. It's like, somebody pressing your doorbell and saying, "I would like to come in." Would you allow the person to enter your home? No. You would have to give some context as to why I would want to come in. You would have to show some interest in the other person for him or her to understand that okay, I should let the person in because that person is going to add a lot of value in my life, in my professional journey. The network is going to be really richer. That is where the push strategy, it's not like, you are doing the activity in terms of push strategy, but there is no quality, so it's not going to yield result. Like you're commenting on other people's content, but you're not commenting meaningfully. You're sending connection requests, but A, you're not sending to your target audience, and B, you are not doing it the right way. And third and most important is personal DMs. Highly underrated, How many, I'll ask a very simple question for people who have been consistent on LinkedIn or has a reasonable presence. How many of your connections do you know actually? Only those who may have reached out to you, commented you, had some level of communication with you, some level of conversation with you. You would have those persons in your recall, right? Now you can be that person who, if you invest in doing this push strategy of reaching out to your existing connections also, we take them for granted because they're already in. No, how many of you, you've not tapped your existing connections and you've not gone, to the extent of actually building relationship with them? So this is push strategy. Three strategies that I can think of top of the mind is: make yourself visible by, knocking doors. Now, how you can build on the push strategy is again finding people, searching people, using the LinkedIn searches optimally, using the LinkedIn groups optimally, attending LinkedIn events. All of these, you find your audience, you find where they hang out, you find where you can actually reach out to them. Then only you'll be able to make yourself visible. Unless and until you don't know what are the people who on whose posts you should be interacting to get the right eyeballs, there's no use, right? The second strategy is pull strategy. Now the pull by definition means I'm pulling people towards me, I'm pulling my audience towards me. So definitely it's going to be sharing content. So sharing content, meaningful content, is something that you should be doing to attract people towards you. I will urge everybody who's listening to today or maybe later, is there is no either or. When it comes to LinkedIn, they go hand in hand. I see people who have a brilliant profile. They must be connected with the right kind of people. They must be interacting on DMs. And thereby they get results what they want in terms of their jobs, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But if you don't have the pull strategy in place, you're not ever going to build your personal brand. That's not going to happen. So, push strategy and pull strategy. Now, the quickest way to build an audience is pull strategy. The moment you build an
Cool
audience,
strategy.
definitely, you know uh, when people start looking up to your content, following you closely, commenting or engaging on your content, benefiting from your content, if you're sharing any information, people are downloading it. If you're sharing any tips and tricks, people are implementing it. That's where you build an audience for yourself. Now, I have shared this particularly to go back to the earlier slides, and I told you about clarity, right? So, what is your objective of being on LinkedIn? Apart from building your personal brand, definitely, because I think personal brand is given, that has to be the motive. Because the moment that comes into place, the whole intent of adding value comes into the place. It's not a short term goal. Okay. Now, keeping that in mind, what is your objective? Your objective is to get another job, or your objective is to emerge as a thought leader, your objective is to help or mentor other startups, or whatever your objective is. That clarity has to be very essentially there, so that you understand who your audience is. And then you understand, okay, this kind of audience, if I share this information, this is going to be really really helpful to them. And when you do that and people definitely benefit, you understand that you're on the right path. And when people are investing the valuable time every day engaging on your content, you reciprocate. This is something that I see missing. People write content and they are very happy with the number of comments, they're very happy with the number of likes, and they take that for granted. If you value other people's time, other people's efforts, it is going to come back multifold to you. So you try, and that's how you build your tribe. If you don't engage, you will never build your tribe. You'll have a following, I'll follow you for some time, and okay, now I've got whatever I could perhaps get from you, and I'll move away. But if you're reciprocating, if you are engaging meaningfully, I will stick around with you. I'll become part of your tribe. So the second is easiest way to generate leads. Now, if lead generation, now by leads, I also mean opportunities. It may not be leads for everyone. It may be opportunities. Opportunities like, internship opportunities, opportunities like speaking opportunities, opportunities like doing a side gig or a side hustle. There can be opportunities. I treat them as leads in terms of, for you, anyone who's seeking all of this, this becomes a lead, right? But for obviously business, to generate leads, again the fundamentals remain clear. You have to be very clear with the objective. With the objective comes very specific niche that you are targeting, so your target audience. You do the exercise of finding this audience and you connect with them. So here you see the push strategy working. You're going and connecting with them, because with content, it is, however specific it is, you will not, it is dependent on how many people are engaging on your content, and your content outreach is a function of that, right? So you may not find the exact target audience flocking into you for a very long time, till you reach that number of followers. So for that to happen quickly, and for you to get results quickly, for you to generate leads quickly, you can, use this strategy side by side. That's why I said it's not either or. You have to leverage both. You work smart. Yeah. So while you're attracting people, sharing content, etc., you are also reaching out to people, so that the moment they check out your profile, they immediately start following you, and they immediately start following your content. So the push strategy, in a way, whatever push or pull strategy, the objective is people check out your profile and people connect with you. People start following you. That's the end objective in terms of LinkedIn. Whatever that you gain out of it is a byproduct. All the opportunities that you're gaining, opportunity to monetize your personal brand, opportunities to, speaking engagements, opportunities to collaborations, opportunities to multiple other things, is a byproduct of the whole exercise. If you've not been successful in doing that, that people reach out to your profile and people connect with you, it's not, it's not functioning well. I am going really fast. I hope, so far so good everybody, because I'm so used to these Zoom comments coming to me, and being able to understand how, is it a one sided monologue, or it's making sense to you guys. uh,
No,
I
you are not going fast. It's okay. It's moderately
I'm not going
up to
fast. Okay, I'll
up
take
to
your word.
everyone's
I
taste.
So, guys, if you don't like this, I'm going by what Jomak is saying. So please blame him for for whatever. Jokes aside, let's
Hmm.
let's understand the fact that I spoke about visibility, right? So visibility with push and pull strategy, you're going to really work on it when you're beginning. The next step is credibility. Now, I again, I remember in my previous slide, I mentioned about being consistent, is not just about being there every single day. Being consistent, you have to be consistent with the projection, you have to be consistent with the messaging, you have to be consistent with the communication, you have to be consistent with the persona that you want to project yourself as. Right, today I want to project myself as a, a LinkedIn coach. Tomorrow I want to project myself as a model, then third day I want to project myself. It's going to confuse my audience, and when the audience is confused, the trust is missing. And when trust is missing, you will not people will not be, feel credible. You'll not be able to have that credibility. So again, I have, put this slide for the simple fact that whatever your objective that you choose to be, position yourself as an authority is given. Position yourself as an authority, building personal brand, however you may want to name it. So knowing your audience is the first step. Now, when knowing your audience, in context to personal brand building or establishing yourself as a subject matter expert, I will give you an example for an entrepreneur, right? The target audience may be someone else, the end consumer may be someone else, and definitely you can work on that in terms of your push strategy, especially if you are in a B2B business. Definitely you would do that. But when you are doing the pull strategy, you're sharing content, you can talk about your learning, your failure stories. your success stories, how it worked for you. Those things will not only help build credibility you as an entrepreneur, but also help other entrepreneurs from the lessons that you have got. So you will get a following of other entrepreneurs as well. Now if these entrepreneurs are not in the line of business that you are, but you've still built credibility, right? So they're going to refer you. I have got references from people who are just following me. They've never ever gone through any of my master classes, or never have they gone through my one-on-one consulting. In spite of that, just because of my content, I've got people referring that, okay, if you want LinkedIn coaching, please go and check out Shweta and connect with her. How amazing is that? I mean, I feel humbled those days, when I get those kind of references. And it's powerful. It's definitely powerful. Somebody trusting you to the extent that he or she is putting a word out there that, hey, you need LinkedIn coaching. I'm following Shweta and she's really good and I think you should check out. And the person is paying me with that trust, with that belief, just that. So if you're
Wow.
able to position yourself as a subject matter expert on the platform to that level, imagine the kind of benefits that it comes with. So knowing your audience, and most importantly, I teach that in great detail in my master classes. Complete your profile. Don't don't have a whatever pull strategy and push strategy that you're doing. Eventually people are going to land on your profile, and if there is a mismatch, as I told earlier about the content piece of it, if there is a mismatch, if your profile is not impressive, or it's not communicating to your audience, it's not influencing your audience, it may be a very good profile, very beautiful profile, but it is not in context to what the your audience is looking for. Your audience is not able to relate with your profile, then your whole exercise is futile, right? So it's important for you to know your audience for many reasons, that how your profile should look like. If you step into their shoes, does your profile appeal to you? Complete your profile, because not only completing your profile will have an impactful presence in the minds of your target audience, but it will also help in terms of the keyword searches, etc., the SEO part of it. So if you're using the right hashtag, if you're using the right keywords in your profile, communicating it powerfully, definitely it's going to add a lot of value in terms of your journey of building a personal brand on LinkedIn. Also provide real value, be very very authentic, because it's a sustainable model. You will not be able to fake for long. And the moment someone reaches out to me for a one-on-one consulting, and whatever I preach on LinkedIn and whatever I'm consulting is all bullshit, they'll be like, after one customer, trust me, I'm not going to be able to find another customer. That's not going to happen, right? And do some passive outreaches also. Passive outreaches means with no agenda, try and reach out to people. Hey, I saw your post today and it really was amazing, and I see you making this effort. And even if the person has one like, two like, and if you're just messaging them, it adds so much value to their lives, so much motivation that they get. Okay, there are people who are viewing me, there are people who to whom my content matters, and it's such a big thing for someone. Engage with your community, I've already spoken about it. Because if you're not engaging, you're not building your tribe. If you're not building your tribe, it's not going to be building your personal brand. Personal brand is definitely not about me. It is not about being famous. It is not about being a superstar or something, but it is about being authentic, powerful brand where you speak and people listen. Yeah. Now, top 3 LinkedIn hacks. I don't know whether I'll be to I can show this, right? I can share the Chrome screen and do this, right? If I'm
Yep,
correct.
yep. Yes, you can.
Okay. So guys, if you're viewing this, there's one thing that I want to so Jumak, what business are you in? Like, what perhaps would be your keyword on LinkedIn if you have to search anything?
Yep, I'm actually learning a lot. You mentioned about the clarity thing, because my I'm an engineer, a technical guy. So this is a bonus for them. This is not, although this is kind of technical, but we're supporting the technical people to have soft skills as well. So like
Okay.
what's happening right now, this is an addition for them to help them out, find jobs, find better clients. So
You're doing an
that's
incredible job, Joe Mark. Not many people are actually, stepping out and from their comfort zone and investing that kind of time to add value. Now, just looking at your profile, I found a product design, for example. Okay,
yeah.
so what I'm going to share is some hacks that I thought I would just share for people to, they can go ahead and implement right away. So I'm using the word product design here in the keyword, and you see there are people, companies, events, groups, jobs, blah blah blah. When you type in the keywords, my search results and your search results are going to be different, guys, because obviously it's a function of whom I'm connected with, my first level, second level, third level connections. So now if you're typing this, go to the groups section. Okay, now you see in product design, you see four, in my case the search result throws up 4200
Wow.
groups. Okay, now if you are, and you can also see how many members are there in the group, right? Now if you think that okay, innovation excites you and product innovation and design is what you would want to join as the group, when you join the group, you see the group admin and who you can check out his profile, blah blah blah, you can do all of it and you request to join. Usually joining LinkedIn groups are pretty easy, they're not as complicated as Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But no, for instance, you've joined the group. Now I'll show you the hack through the groups that I'm already part of, because product innovation and design I have no clue about. So I will show you in the groups that I am part of, and I'll show you how the hack thing works. Where the hell groups are? Okay, so SME and startups is supposedly a group that I'm part of, because this becomes my target audience for LinkedIn coaching, and that's the reason I'm part of here. Now you see there are 5,565 members out here. Now, the product design group that I showed Joe Mark and everybody who was seeing, you can do once you are inside the group, you will see how many people's connections, etc. are there. And once you're part of the group, you click on the see all. Now you see all these people who are part of the group, and if you pay attention closely, if you see, none of them, in fact, is my first connection. I'm not connected to most of them,
Yeah.
right? They are my second and third connections. So one way of reaching out to them is conventional way of sending them a connection request, waiting for them to accept the
Yeah.
connection request, etc. The one big part of reaching out to the groups is you will find your target audience very easily, because they will be in the industry domain that you are looking for. They will be interested in the same type of topics. So this is one quick way of reaching out and finding your target audience. But now, for instance, if Nisha Agrawal, or say maybe Vani Agrawal, is someone that I'm willing to engage with her, connect with her, pitch her my services, or do whatever activity that I want to do. The conventional way is reaching out to her, sending a connection request, waiting for her to accept the request, and then going about. The second option is, if I'm using a premium account, I have a 5 in-mail option, and that's that, just the 5 of them. Unless and until people answer back, I get it credited, but otherwise, it's just the 5. Let's take 5, for example. What about after that? So, if you are part of the group, even if you're not connected, like for instance, I'm not connected with Vani, I can still send a message. Jamak,
Mm.
were you aware of this?
Um, what happened to my situation is I wanted to have, previously in Facebook, of course, if I'm posting my anything there, definitely they have an admin that that will
approves.
grant my post, right?
No, I'm
So
asking in case of LinkedIn. I'm here only talking about LinkedIn. So, in case of LinkedIn, have you ever used this hack to reach out to the people that being part of any group and
no,
then?
no,
Okay.
because out of my experience in Facebook, I eventually created a community for myself than me having to ride on someone else's community.
So,
But of course, what you're showing us right now, it's different with regards to LinkedIn groups.
yes. So creating your own group, not everybody has that, the bandwidth of creating a group, managing a group, or leading a group, or building a community for that matter. That may not be something of their interest, or that may not be something that they would be able to pull it off, especially when they are starting. But what I am showing here is, if you are not willing, and which is perfectly fine, to invest in a premium account, you can use these hacks to reach out to people the moment they accept your message, and you can actually build a conversation, connect with them, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to wait conventionally to send the connection request, wait for them to accept, because if people are not really active on LinkedIn, it'll take time in that process. You can try this out as a secondary hack. This is one that I wanted to show you. The second is that using the same phenomena of keep typing in the keyword. So product design is what I typed, right? Now you can use your relevant keywords here. I'm just illustrating. Now, sorry, I have to come out of the group first. Okay. Now, if product design, you see again the event section, right? Now, when you go to the events, you see product design. I get 612 upcoming events which are listed here.
Hmm.
LinkedIn events. Now, if I choose to say maybe this webinar I want to attend, now it's slated on blah blah blah, this, and it's like, register for this event, and this will take you through blah blah blah, and you can have. Now, once you register for this event, you say right now this has 6 attendees, but you can choose events that have more attendees also. For instance, now initially, if you see, LinkedIn events had attend event option, not register option. So what people used to do, they used to just press attend event and not register for the event and actually turn up for the event. So now they have changed it to register event. But now if you register to the event, once you are inside the event attendees access also is in the similar manner that you saw in the group. So once you are part of any event, you can actually, I'll see if I'm already part of any event, and I'll demonstrate you in terms of. Now you see, this event is already over, but I have the attendees. 83 attendees are there. Now if you see, these attendees are again second connections and third connections, right? But if I think that, okay, these are the attendees of the event, and these two people I want to connect with, inside the event I can still message them. I can do something similar which I did for LinkedIn groups through events as well. So if you know that, okay, these are the people who attended the event, and definitely they are interested in this, like-minded people, someone who can collaborate with. If you checked out their profile and you want to connect with them, the easiest hack is inside the event and inside the LinkedIn groups you can do that. So I found that to be a wowed, I was pretty wowed by this whole hack when I discovered it. So I thought of sharing it with you guys as well. I hope that helped.
Awesome. Learn something new.
Okay, so what's next? So everybody out there, I don't know how I'm supposed to put a message. I can put a message? No, I can't.
In
So
the
should I?
comments
You can? I can?
on the right, there's a right panel there. Comments. I think you can.
I am not able to put any comment. I am able to see. I put. Okay, I can put comment in the private chat. I'm not able to put comments in the regular comments. And I don't know how it is. So I'll put that link in the private chat. So what next is, I'm hosting a a detailed 3-hour masterclass in terms of how you should be building your profile step by step, how you should design your connection strategies, how you should actually start building your content strategy, and the whole formula of how you can perhaps become consistent through your content, etc. So it's a very accelerated learning, because 3 hours is like too small a time. But I have kind of mastered that skill, because this is my batch 7. So I am going to share the link here. Juma, can you please share that with everybody
Will
else?
do.
Yeah, I am little challenged in terms of how do I post it. Now this is a Black Friday sale. So usually I have a 999 price point for this 3 hour bus, 999 rupees, guys. So this is at 299 Indian rupees. So you guys can actually register for it and be a part of this masterclass. It'll happen on 12th of December, between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So I think that will be pretty convenient for you guys as well. So this is one that I wanted to share before we get into any Q&A and class shares. The second and most important thing that I want you to do is, everybody who is listening later now, if I don't know whether this link will be available, please just subscribe so that you keep yourself updated with any upcoming free or paid workshops of mine. So this link is a graphy link, which you just press subscribe. So anything that I'm doing on that platform, any workshop, free or paid, you will come to know and you'll be in my mailing list. So these are the two things. And last but not the least, if you have found any value in today's session, I would request you to just take a minute and share, top 3 learnings that you got from this, and you can rate me. Even if you rate me 0, I'll be okay with that honest opinion, and I would appreciate that. So these 3 links, Joe Mark, I would urge you to share with the audience if possible. So that's it from me, guys. This is what I wanted to share for the day. I hope I was able to add some value, and your time was worth invested. Now also do one-on-one consulting, so you guys can reach out to me. My Either you can connect me on LinkedIn and DM me, or you can drop an email at this email address. This is my email address, so you can just drop an email or connect with me on LinkedIn and DM me that I want to go for a one-on-one consulting. I have the offerings, three kind of offerings, which we can discuss eventually. I am not going to waste my time talking about it here, because it's important for you guys. Now, this is the LinkedIn branding masterclass that I was talking about. So it's a 3-hour masterclass, and there are a lot of bonuses that you're going to get with it. Uh, Now is the time for you guys to speak and drill me. So if you have any questions, what did you feel about it, etc.
Okay, joining me this evening is, I guess, first question will be coming from Raymond Mapalad. So he's one of our community members as well, and I'm not sure, but I think he's about to have a transition as well. So Raymond, what's your first question? Giving you the
Hello,
floor.
can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, actually, first of all, good evening, Shweta. That was a very thorough and uh, discussion
thank you.
about LinkedIn. Actually, my question is what I posted earlier in the chat with regards to the consistency, since that kind of hit me a bit hard. For example, in my case, I'm trying to switch careers. You've mentioned about the consistency of content that you post, the one that's already in your profile, how you reply with of well the consistency between them, but what, for example, if an individual wants to transition to career B, although of course the ones that's listed on his past work posted on LinkedIn is from his previous career, career A. So of course there's still a disparity with regards to that. Is it something that that can eventually be overcome, for lack of a better term? Since of course it would be rough waters. With, for example, if someone were to look at that person, he's posting things about this stuff, but his work speaks this. It's basically on uh, if it's feasible to use LinkedIn in a way to gravitate towards a different career path.
Certainly,
Okay.
certainly. And as much as the uh, uh, inhibition of whether switching to career B will confuse my existing audience, or my existing audience has nothing to do with my career B, so all the time that I have invested in building the brand till now is going to go waste. Or when I start talking about career B, my current audience will feel the distrust of what the hell he's talking now, and he was a guy with this background. It's okay, this inertia, inhibition, confusion is going to happen. But trust me, the one fundamental fact is that people are following you not because of your career or your job title. They're following you because of you as a person. And every individual evolves, and everyone knows that. It's like if you are communicating in your content that, okay, this is what you've been contemplating for so long, and now is the time for you to relaunch yourself, and authentically sharing your journey with your audience is going to understand. Your audience is going to understand. In your about section also, Raymond, I would request that you explain why you transition from career A to career B, and what is it that excites you to do that. What is it that you're looking forward to. All of that is something that because it's very easy for people to remain in the same career, stuck and cribbing about it. It takes courage for people to actually make that transition, and people are going to applaud you for that. Trust me, people are going to applaud you for that. It's like the transition is not the problem, the confusion is not the problem. It only will happen when you are not keeping people in the loop. If you're keeping your audience who are
Mhm.
following you consistently in the loop, if you're communicating it with clarity in your profile, definitely see, in my case, I'll tell you, it's very obvious. I was representing a company selling their product and service as a business development executive for 4.5 years, and my journey on LinkedIn began with that as a person. Now, in somewhere around June 2020, when I started discovering that, okay, I want to evolve as a LinkedIn coach and consultant, it was a completely different thing, right? Audience is different, the whole everything is different. But if you're making your audience part of your journey, they're going to not only be supporting you in that transition, but you will also find a lot of people connecting with you. Okay, you've taken this brave step. I was always uh, scared of taking that step, and now with you in front of me, I'm also I've got that courage to take that next step, etc., etc. You can become a role model for people who are kind of holding themselves from making that transition, Raymond. So I think that's definitely not a problem. And yes, eventually when you do that transition and you start sharing content about your career B, you will get a lot of people from that current target audience. And as I mentioned, with the push strategy, you will actually knock doors, who are relevant people now with career B in place, like I did when I switched to consulting. So it's like, just trust your audience and be authentic. Everything will fall in place. Everything will fall in place. People evolve, careers change, and that's perfectly fine. It's like that's the essence, Raymond, that if you have invested in building your personal brand, careers are a byproduct. Your careers are not, you're not being, okay, I work in HDFC bank, do this, right? Or I work in so and so organization, do this. People know you first, and then they know about the product or service that you're selling, or the business that you are in, or the company that you represent. So that's secondary. So Raymond, I hope this answer helps and motivates you to churn content, and it's brave thing to make a career transition, whatever the reasons. And if you can really be authentic with your reasons, again, you're going to get a lot of loyalty in terms of your audience.
I think
Thank you
Raymond, you
very
have to
much,
be
Shweta.
consistent with your Adobe workshops.
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
working
I
on
have no idea about Adobe, so I'm going to get in touch with Raymond for that. But my
Okay.
design is all courtesy Canva.
it. Thank you.
uh, Another question. So, how about for the students? I'm a student. Should I invest in personal branding now and in LinkedIn, or after I graduate? This is one of the most common questions from the
You
students.
should invest. The first answer and short answer is you should invest. Please don't waste another single day not to invest. So start from tomorrow, if not today. Uh, why? Now, why? Three aspects. A, it can actually be a big learning platform for you when you're
Mm.
observing, following people in close quarters, not just the influencers, real people who are two steps ahead of you, three steps ahead of you. There are so many people who have invested building personal brand, who have just stepped into the professional world, and they are sharing their journey in terms of how they cracked the interview, or how they got that dream job, or how they. So the thing is, with personal brand, if you are an eighth grader, you can teach a sixth grader, right? You don't need to be a PhD to teach a sixth grader. The point is this. Also, with students, if you cannot think about creating content, think about curating content, because people don't have the wherewithals or bandwidth or time, etc., to actually research. And if you can do that research from for them and curate content, there are many examples existing on Twitter and LinkedIn where people curate and present it to you, so that you don't waste time digging information from 50 platforms. Someone is doing it for you, and that is phenomenal, and people have built personal brand out of that. So if curation is something that you can think of, not only that curation will help you because you're doing that research, so obviously the learning is happening, but also it's going to build your personal brand. And trust me, you will be a different person, more confident person, more
Mm.
knowledgeable person, if you are investing in building your personal brand on LinkedIn. So a big yes, you should go about doing it. I hope that
Awesome.
answers.
Okay, another question. So, yep. Yeah, when you're starting out in LinkedIn, there's so many things that you have to tweak. Shweta. So, what would be the top three that you recommend if there's someone starting out to tweak, beautify his LinkedIn profile? What are those at least top three you
Top
recommend
three.
focus
Okay.
on?
So top three, I'll go by the first headline, because your
Headline.
headline and your profile pic are the two things that people see before they even see your profile. So whenever you're engaging anywhere on LinkedIn, these are two things that people see. So if you're commenting on someone's post, your profile pic is visible, your headline is visible. When you're DMing or sending them a connection request, your profile pic is visible, your headline is visible. That is the first step of hooking an audience. If you fail there, you fail everywhere. So if you have to prioritize, your profile pic has to be a recent headshot, and please, guys, you're human. So you have a warm smile. I told you that treat this as a professional networking platform. So in a real-time networking event, you're not going to be like this, right? You're going to be like this. So please have a little warm smile on your face, a clear headshot with a plain background, so that it stands out from that tiny hole. People are able to recognize you, or people are able to attract it towards you, because still, the visual works. The headline is very important because it, if you're using the right keywords, if you're using the right messaging through your headline, I will be inclined to connect with you or curious to connect with you. Either ways it can work. So hooking the audience, prioritize your profile photo and headline, number one. Number two, if I land on your profile looking at that, I should not be upset with the fact that I was fooled by a beautiful photograph and a very relevant headline. So your about section is becomes your second priority, because that's where. So I would take a second more and explain that when in case of about section, think of it as you are standing in a room full of your target audience and you've been invited on the podium and asked to share your story. That should formulate your about section.
Mm.
Now this is your moment. The target audience is right in front of the room. You've been given the mic, you've been given the podium. Now what exactly you're going to say? You're not going to talk about the complete life story of yours. You're not going to be too technical. You're not going to talk about Shweta does this, Shweta does that, third party language, all those things. So you're going to talk about things that matter to them, and you're going to talk about things that are your strength areas, right? So think in that direction when you're thinking building about your about section. So in terms of priority, profile pic, headline, and about section, top three. I hope that answers the question.
Another question. Oh, ah.
I'm going to sit all night, I believe.
When you're there's this confusion sometimes on how to connect, because some people switch their default button to follow. So for those who are trying to network, any suggestions on how to send a personalized invite? How do I approach someone? Right? I think it's more effective. Right? Any suggestions on that than just simply clicking connect?
So, to my view, if you really want to connect with someone that you look up to, or want to build relationship with, or see as a mentor, or anyone, please invest some time in viewing their profile. Invest some time in, if they are creating content on LinkedIn, invest some time in engaging on their on LinkedIn, because through that exercise, a, you will get to know them better, and b, they will get to notice you. So if you're viewing their profile, if you're engaging on their content, if you're doing that, in my case, I will definitely notice you, that there's someone who's following me very closely, they're viewing my profile, etc. So I will understand that you're showing interest in me, you've invested some time in knowing more about me. So do that before you send a connection request. This is one, because once you do that exercise, you will have a clarity in terms of how perhaps I can approach this person. What can be the ice breaking statement? So maybe a post that you liked, and a relevant post that you want, and you wanted to know more about that particular topic. Or do you have a blog or something that I can read on, or can you refer me some books, something like that. Now if you are sending me a personalized request like this, I'm instantaneously going to accept it, and not only going to accept it, respond to it. Because I see that you have invested considerable amount of time, effort, and energy in knowing more about me, and you mean what you're saying. It's not just a vanity thing for you to connect with me and kind of increase your connection numbers.
Raymond, you have another question?
Yes, I do. With regards to, it's actually in relation to that previous question. And you've mentioned earlier that it's not a race, it's a marathon. And sometimes it's good to connect without an agenda. Because from my experience, since of course LinkedIn still part of the internet, there are still some dangers to consider. Like some months ago, someone tried to connect with me, and then after a bit of a small talk, he began to
Bitch.
propose to me this uh, Bitcoin structure or cryptocurrency, and then networking, and then immediately wanted to have me give a yes or a no. I politely declined eventually, but is that I think is that like a bad example of
Bad, yes.
trying to connect,
Bad
since
example. Bad
because I
example.
was surprised at that point.
No, no. See, there are so many bad apples here, so you have to live with that fact. And just because of that, you don't stop eating apples, right? So you just throw them out and find the good ones and start eating them. So that's a very bad example of so please never, anybody who's listening to me, the moment the connection request is accepted, the person should not feel that they are trapped now. Okay, so okay, ye to aa gaya. This has happened, and the next thing that I'm supposed to do is pitch. Trust me, I did that. I'm guilty as charged when I started on LinkedIn 2016, and I'm so ashamed of the fact that I did that because I had no clue that this is not the way. I thought that okay, LinkedIn is all about pitching and promoting and selling. I that's the only thing that I knew, uh, and I'm really publicly apologizing to everybody whom who may be viewing this. That please, I'm sorry, I had no clue, but that's definitely not the right way. You can always, if you want to pitch, see, b is I also, Raymond, you've pointed this out. There are examples where the profile says nothing, and they are into some MLM business or something. The profile has nothing. So even if you've studied the profile and you have put that person in good faith, and eventually it emerges that they actually connected with you for a very different agenda. Now this is like, to me, this comes out as a cheating, that somebody has actually not disclosed everything on the profile, and then they are coming out with that. So either you can, if you, even if you want to do something like this, the best way is to either send them an email rather than disturbing them on LinkedIn and DMing them and pitching them. A cold email is still acceptable because in this whole wide world everybody is doing that, but definitely I would not advise doing that on DMs. Is like you in a networking event standing and somebody reaching out to you and start blabbering about their product and they want you to buy right now. Would you do that in real time event? No. So please, I appreciate, Raymond, that you politely declined. Everybody who's listening, don't think twice. Even if the connection request is someone you know, politely decline.
Yep.
Chamak.
I guess that's the last question. So once more, before I let Shweta go, please connect with her in LinkedIn. And I'm sure some of you probably are just too shy
I'm
to
going to
ask. So
receive. And guys, a word of advice: I will not accept any connection request which is not personalized. Because then I'm a
state
bad
your
teacher. If
purpose.
you Yeah, if you have not sent me a personalized connection request, please do that. I'm not going to accept any request which is not personalized, and personalized does not mean I would like to connect with you. It has to have some context. The moment I see your request, I should understand that you attended this session and there's a reason why you want to connect with me, right?
Awesome. Yep. So once more, please connect with Shweta and Shweta. That was enjoyable. That was a quick one. That was an impromptu. We didn't even have a tech run. So, yep, this is authenticity at its best, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm
Yep.
I'm
So,
so happy to address to a LinkedIn local. I wish I could do that physically, but yes, I'm all the way. Just so happy.
and
Thank
yep,
you, Jamal.
hoping you can visit Philippines also in the near future and get to attend a physical LinkedIn local
Yeah,
event with us.
soon.
Okay. Yep. So once more, thank you everyone. Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you so much for having me, Guy. Bye bye. And please, I get to see a lot more of you on LinkedIn. and get to follow a lot more of you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon
Bye
and see you
bye.
soon. Everyone, we hope we have inspired you. So please don't forget to join us in LinkedIn Local Metro South, and to all who are digital creatives, join us in Digital Creatives Philippines. Once more, thank you all.